Hey everyone, Thunderbob here, and I got a new monitor today. This is the G34WQC. It's a new Gigabyte monitor. This is a 34-inch ultra-wide supporting a 3440 by 1440 resolution, 144 hertz. I'm checking this thing out for the first time. Right off the bat, I'm really impressed. I've read some good things about it, though there's been a few concerns, like flickering, dead pixels. I can say out of the box, no dead pixels, no stuck pixels. G-Sync compatibility picked right up immediately. I can show you that here if I go to my control panel. And G-Sync was enabled for Windows and full screen. If I go into my display settings, 3440 by 1440, and it is picking up 144 hertz. I do like the OSD quite a bit. There's like a little button behind, and almost like a joystick, and you can go in and check like your settings. By default, I feel like the picture is a little too dark, so I went in here and like the FPS setting was almost completely brightness all the way up. By default, the standard is at like 50 brightness, so I upped it quite a bit. It might be too bright, I need to play with it a little more, but this is the current settings I'm running on it. 90 brightness, 50 contrast, 11 color vibrance, 6 sharpness, Gamut 3. I'm still kind of playing with that one. I'm not sure if I like that the best. Normal color temp, low blue light. Dynamic contrast, I'm still kind of figuring out exactly what that does. By default, it's also at 0 on like the FPS setting. And then from there, there's a Sensei demo. I haven't messed with that. And then you can reset the picture. There's also some crosshair and game assists, which I haven't really messed with. Game timing, refresh rate, so you can like have it actually show you your refresh rate on the screen. That's not super useful because you can get that like through Steam or through the GeForce Experience. What else? There is picture-in-picture and PvP. There's 4 inputs, 2 HDMI, 2 DisplayPort. I've got the DisplayPort right now, which seems to be the highest support as far as resolution and hertz. I've played a few games and I've gotten no flicker. It feels a lot smoother. This is coming from a 2560 by 1080p ultra-wide that was only 60 hertz. So for me, this is a major upgrade. I know it's not quite 4K, but it's pretty damn close in my mind, while also keeping a high refresh rate. I will be getting a 3080 as soon as I'm able to. I've literally been refreshing. I don't know if all of you have been doing the same thing, but it's been kind of painful. But I'm really impressed with this. I might just boot up game here. I wanted to play some No Man's Sky and some Rainbow Six just to try it out. So I'll get something going here. So first off, I've played a little bit of No Man's Sky, and this game is a little more demanding than my computer can run at 3440 by 1440 and really maintain a frames per second that takes advantage of the 144 hertz. I'm getting, between 60 and 100 depending on the area. It's playable, but it's not really taking full advantage of the frame rates that this monitor can provide. But what I did enable is HDR, and you can really see that here as I'm entering this kind of snowy planet. I actually might need to lower the brightness a little bit, because with HDR on, it was almost blinding. It was so bright and so white. I mean, it was kind of amazing, but for everyday gaming, it may be a little bit much. I could barely even see as I entered the atmosphere and I'm going through the clouds. It's a really cool effect that they added in the latest patch, is the cloud cover. So I'm landing on this planet, and it is actually during the middle of a blizzard, a very bad storm. So you'll see some kind of cool effects here. My visor is completely covered in ice.
but everything is like crystal clear. I hope that comes across in the video, but it's really, really sharp. The resolution, the 3440 by 1440, really pops in this game. I do need to get the 3080 so I can get a little bit better frame rate, but overall, I'm really impressed with how this held up for No Man's Sky. So far, it's running really well. HDR, well, it's only an HDR 400, looks pretty good. I don't have a lot to compare it against, but the lighting definitely looks better than than I'm used to. So I'm happy with that. And now the storm's cleared, and it's just kind of this is what the normal world looks like, this snowy world. So next up, I've got Rainbow Six Siege. This is a game that I can run pretty well, get like 100 frames, 120 frames, running it in native 3440 by 1440. Still not able to really take full advantage of the 144 hertz, but you can see a little bit of an improvement. And again, I've got no jitter, no kind of, I've heard some people getting like some flashing or things like that. Nothing from my the games I've played so far. It all runs really well. Even here, where I'm getting 100 frames per second, it feels so much smoother than my old 60 hertz monitor. Yeah, it's just way more playable now. This is, of course, just I'm playing against terrorists, AI terrorist and the terrorist hunt mode, but it's not exactly easy for me to do a lone wolf run, and I beat this solo without too much trouble. I don't know if the monitor helped at all or if I just got lucky, but yeah, this is I'm really liking this monitor so far. Yeah, the curvature is really nice. The brightness is good, way brighter than my old monitor. Text is really legible on the screen. Like there's sometimes on those 2560 monitors you can kind of get like a lot of distortion on the text, but the text is super clear. I could read on this thing. It's actually so bright at the gaming setting I'm on right now. I think I might have to turn it down when I'm actually reading websites. There is a reading mode on the OSD. And now here's Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This is one that I can really demonstrate the high frame rate and refresh rate. I'm getting 200 frames per second usually in this game with my current setup. Maybe when I get that 3080, I'll be able to get to 400 frames. But you can just see how smooth the picture looks. I wish I had a better external camera so I could show you like what my picture looks like, because this is obviously only rendering it at 60 frames per second in my video, but it is buttery smooth. It looks so nice, and it feels so nice. Like there's very little input lag when you've got that high of a refresh rate. I haven't played Counter-Strike in a while. In my younger days, I probably put 1,000 hours into 1.6, and to a lesser extent Source, but this is way more playable than my old 60 hertz monitor. Probably the best Counter-Strike experience I've had as far as playability, but maybe not the most fun. 1.6 is still where it's at. So overall, I'm really impressed with the monitor. If you get the opportunity, I know they're sold out on a lot of places. You should probably check this out for $400. I think this is comparable to some of those $600 or $800 monitors, to be honest. And if you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other content. I've got a ton of videos, for VR content, for brand new games, for retro games. Yeah, think about checking some of those out. And if you like them, why don't you give me a subscription? I'd appreciate that. Thanks again, and everyone, have a great night.